Look who has stopped by here on our program, courtesy of Rocket Mortgage DreamMate campaign. We'll discuss that with one of the best that Detroit has seen put on a Lions uniform, and that's only just a couple years already in the league. Aidan Hutchinson, good to see you, sir. How are you?
It's good to be back, man.
Now, listen, obviously you've played in front of big house crowds, but last night had to have been the biggest house you've ever been in, right?
Truly.
What was that like, strolling out on stage with Eminem, your teammates, Calvin Johnson, Barry Sanders, and there's 250,000 people right in front of you? What the hell was that like?
It's so wild. I mean, we're standing there backstage, and it's, Jared, Saint, me, Calvin, Barry, Eminem, and Roger Goodell walk up, and I'm like, what the hell am I doing right now? Like where am I? And why am I here? And it was one of those moments where you just sit there, and it's so crazy. It's so crazy. And then walking out, the fans, it's like, they're so unreal, and I have a lot of pride when I see that we're breaking draft records in attendance, and even in our playoff run, like you see. Just all the support this past year has been amazing.
Yeah, and just seeing all the Lions fans have more than hope now. It's not just hope anymore.
Yeah,
it's genuine belief. Mm-hmm. It's more than hope.
It's the real deal. I think last year was people didn't know if we were legit or not, and we made it to NFC Championship and cut a little bit short. And but now I feel like the expectation this year is it's Super Bowl or nothing, And it's funny how we got to this point after a couple of years, just where I started at the Lions, and now we're here, and it feels good.
What was your exchange with Eminem? Anything significant? What do you have?
I didn't talk to him too much backstage, and then I got the chance to talk to him when we left, and I was getting ready to go home, and someone comes up to me and goes, "Hey man, Marshall wants to talk to you in the RV or something." And I was like Marshall. I was like, shit, that's Eminem.
You're like, so, Marshall who?
Right.
Marshall.
I know, and then it clicked, and I'm like, I ran up that man because I never got a chance to meet him. And so we were talking, and I never realized how much of a diehard fan he was. We were just talking ball for like 10 minutes. Him and his whole team were there. He was talking about the San Fran game, and it's always a tough game to look back on, but he's so invested, and it was so great being able to talk to him for the first time and finally be able to connect, because he's so global and so big. But then being able to sit down and talk to him he's just a really genuine person, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't know he was a diehard fan. Wasn't he flipping off fans in San Francisco? Wasn't he doing that?
Yep. I guess I didn't know the magnitude.
Okay,
I knew he was a big fan, but the way he was talking, he was like, man, if I could just put on the pads, man, and just give it a rep. I'm like, we could get you in on goal line or something. You sign a little 10-day.
You can get a couple of reps out of Eminem. And the suit is a fantastic looking suit.
There's the breathing God.
Yeah, the breathing God T-shirt underneath.
Yeah, thank you.
Is that the first time you've worn that suit? Is that a first?
Yeah, it's a first.
Okay.
It's a first. Yeah, so it's a little gold houndstooth, and then we matched it up with the bottom shirt. So we learned a couple things. You got a couple years in the league, Dude,
it's just so great to see what you're done already with your professional playing career and the road ahead. Aidan Hutchinson here on the Rich Eisen Show, and so is it similar? Because I was having fun with you in our Roku only segment, nicknaming you the culture changer. But and I know a lot of people describe Jim Harbaugh's arrival in Michigan as a culture changing moment. But you and your year that you had, your final year there, and your years before it, I'm sure, was when things really did change. Mm-hmm. And I'm wondering if you're seeing a similarity with the Lions. Obviously, you weren't there before. You only know what your time is with the Lions. But is it a similar feeling?
It is very similar. I mean, after that 2020 year, and it was like Harbaugh's on the fence of getting fired, and it was like the dark days at Michigan, as I call it. And then it just took a lot of work, man, from myself and the leaders and all the guys buying into it to just rally everyone back and get back to that winning ways. And now it's like we all look back at that and we're good. And then we get to the Lions, and it's a similar situation, but with the Lions, it's years of turmoil. It's not just
you grew up with it,
right?
I mean, you're not just new to that.
No doubt. It was so much more. It was the foundation was messed up for so many years in the Lions, and then I feel like when Dan and Brad came in, like these guys who just drafting the right people. Dan just has such a great culture and what he talks about in our team meetings. So, I just go into places and I be myself, and I think that does have a positive effect, but I can't take credit. I feel like I'm just a piece of the puzzle, and that's all I try to be.
That said, though, before you get to the Lions, just a little bit on the Michigan, and I hope I'm not putting you on the spot, but I did hear, and I'm wondering if it is true. I heard that in that COVID year, or just afterwards, prior to 2021, that you went into Harbaugh's office and basically said, essentially, and maybe I'm wrong or not, but hey, not only are you you got to let the pedal off the gas a little bit, but put it on us.
Right.
Put it on the players. Let us kind of help run things here a little bit. Listen to us a little bit more. Is that accurate?
I never really went into his office, but I feel like it was, I just kind of took the accountability all on me. I knew, it's like when you're a senior and you're playing at a high level in college, it's like you're the guy, and everyone's going to depend on you. You got to be a leader, you got to be a voice. And so I never went into his office, and I think me and Coach Harbaugh, we just had a really good unspoken relationship, I feel like, because he was more with the offense, but we had this respect that he kind of knew I was with the defense, and I'm gonna lock the defense down. He does the offense, and it was like our dynamic that we had was really healthy.
But I heard you did say something's got to change here and let me kind of.
I never did say that.
Okay, you did not.
No.
So that's untrue.
Untrue.
All right. I'm glad I cleared that up.
Maybe I should have told you that.
No. I'm glad that you're
sounds a little
honest
bit
about
better,
it. But again, your legend just grows, man.
It sounds more mystical.
No, the fish that we caught has now turned into some monster shark. It's like a great story. And then now here in Detroit, Dan Campbell told me he had a man crush on you at the Combine. That's what he told me. Did you sense that from him when you came through?
No.
Not at all, huh?
When you go as a rookie, it's, you got to go and prove yourself, and that's how it was. And I feel like over these past few years, I've gained my respect from him, and I feel like that's what everyone's got to do when you're, I had a lot of hype too, just playing at Michigan and being the hometown kid. It's like you got to match these expectations essentially, and he kind of knew that, and I think he always was kind of. The standard was always up here for me, and that's what I love about him. Is he holds me to it, and our relationship has grown a lot, and we have great relationship. I love having him as my coach, and I think he's the guy that we need at the helm to win a championship.
What's your favorite Dan Campbell story that you're willing to share?
Don't ask me that.
I have to.
Dude, people have been asking me that, and I fail.
Because we want Dan Campbell stories.
I know.
We can't get enough Dan Campbell stories. Can't get enough.
With Dan, it's every day. It's hard to pinpoint one thing that was so crazy. It was it's every day walking in that team meeting. You're either going to be laughing, or it's going to be tense, or it's going to hit you emotionally in some way, And that's what I love most about it. I mean, when we lost against San Fran and coming in that next day for exit meetings, and when you lose in the playoffs in the NFL, it's like boom, boom, you're out. And the way he was talking to us, and he was like, "Man, we're winning the championship next year." Blah blah blah. Like I can speak to everybody in the room that we all just wanted to strap it up and keep playing. Even though we're 24 weeks into the season, so I feel like he's got that power to where he can just talk, and dude, it's his words are just very influencing and powerful, and it just makes you want to follow him. And like I said, like how he was talking after the San Fran game, it makes us all hungrier. The way how much passion that he has,
just seeing it and feeling it, and well,
I'm sorry I couldn't deliver with any crazy story.
Aidan, you don't disappoint.
Okay.
Let me just say it this way: you'll never disappoint me, like literally ever. All right, so we're totally cool on that. But obviously his decision making, fourth down decisions, we're going for it, we're not kicking.
Right.
From our perspective in the media, we're wondering if it's deflating to the locker room, and you are saying the otherwise.
I'm saying with the decisions made in that game, I think the decisions those are the decisions that he made all year long, you know. And it won us a lot of games too, and everyone's always happy when you win it on a ballsy call or a ballsy decision,
right?
And you know, so if you live by the sword, you got to die by it too. And I don't think anybody in our locker room, you know, you can look back and you can question things, but you know, hindsight is always 20/20, and everyone on that team, every coach, every player is doing everything in their power in that moment to win the game. And sometimes you come up short, and that's this game of football and life.
Were you gone by the time Terrion Arnold was drafted last night?
Yeah,
you were out of the draft hall?
Yeah, right when we walked off the stage, I ran home and got in bed because I've been pretty exhausted.
I bet
doing all this draft stuff.
So I just want to play you the reaction, because we were you know, obviously I was on the air, and our set was on the back end of the draft hall, for the lack of a better phrase, 250,000 people.
Wow.
And so suddenly a bunch of people started running towards the stage. And I looked up on the screen and I saw Detroit had traded up. And I'm like, now I understand why they're running towards the stage. And this was the reaction when the pick hit last night. Bedlam. Wow. Just pure bedlam.
Oh my God, it's so amazing. It's so amazing.
So you had not seen that before? You had not
I
heard
didn't
that?
see the reaction. I stayed up because I was going to stay up for the 29th pick, and then I'm like getting ready to turn the TV off, and then I see they traded up, and so I'm like, oh God, let's go. But I didn't see the reaction, but that's gold.
And then he came out, and then he's just,
and he was soaking it up too. He grabbed the mic. He was like, Detroit, let's get it.
Yeah, and then he's
going to fit in right here.
I figured that, you know, right? That how I sensed that too. That was my first thought.
I know. It's what you need. It's that a good personality. He's a great player, and I can already tell. You know, I never met him before, but I feel like he's going to fit in real good with the boys.
Right, certainly. Now, you know, as many Alabama guys come in.
Oh my God,
you're fine with that because, you know, we can talk now, right? We can talk.
After this year, we can talk, and life is good.
Hey,
now,
look, every single last night, we're here on the NFL Network set. The ABC set was right to my left, so every time I looked this way, I saw Nick Saban. Every single time I saw him, I'm like, oh, we retired him in the Rose Bowl. It's phenomenal. Like, literally, I'm living my best.
That's amazing.
Life right now. Living my best life right now.
Yeah, you got to hold on to it as long as you can, you know?
The number of people last night, I would turn around from the set, and it's Michigan fans going just absolutely nuts. And invariably, there'd be some very sad-looking Spartan or Ohio State Buckeye fan next to them. And I would just be like,
oh, it's amazing.
Shrug emoji. It's the greatest, man.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And we just got to soak it up this year. You know, I'm just going to soak it up.
Now, that said, what happens twice a year now? JJ McCarthy's under center wearing purple, and you're there on the other side of the line of scrimmage. What happens now, Aidan Hutchinson?
Unfortunately, business is business, you know, and I have to do my job, and my job is to give hugs on Sundays, you know, give squeeze,
violent
tight hugs, violent to the ground. Well, you know, not too much weight. Don't want to get a penalty.
Understood?
Yes, Roger. No fines, okay. And yeah, that's going to be interesting. But I'm really hoping that he succeeds, not against us, but he has his own personal success.
Yes.
And it's gonna be fun though.
Well, you hit him about 60%.
It's gonna be weird.
60%.
60% you'll hit him, not a full 100, or
Got to go full 100.
Unfortunately,
he's getting the full.
Well, you don't want to get flagged either.
He's getting, you know, it's not going to be. You don't want to hurt him or anything. Keep him around.
Right.
However,
Exactly.
you know, maybe he'll give me a couple free ones. I'll text him a little bit, see if we can negotiate something.
Tell me about the Rocket Mortgage DreamMate campaign.
So well, we teamed up with Rocket Mortgage, the official mortgage partner of the NFL Draft, and they are doing a DreamMate campaign. And essentially, this DreamMate campaign is all about celebrating your support systems and, you know, what they've done to help you achieve your goals. So, you know, my DreamMates are my family. All my family members have been so instrumental in my whole upbringing and my whole career, and they've been with me every step of the way through all the adversity, through the good and the bad, and that's why they're my DreamMates.
Okay, fantastic. And part of this campaign, encouraging fans to share their personal DreamMate stories on social media using the hashtag of Rocket DreamMate. And I understand what it's like to have the Hutchinson family in my life since your dad was playing when I was in school.
That's right.
And now there's you, and so I kind of feel like I've been part of the family.
I love it. I love it. You are a part of the family, Rich.
I will take that.
You're an honorary dreammate.
Hashtag that, baby.
I mean, that's a good one, man.
Oh no, I remember when your dad played, and I was there on campus. And,
I know, it's so crazy, man.
Bo's final game, I was there. I was telling my kids that when we were at the Rose Bowl. I'm like, you see that press box? I was there.
Is that weird? Is that like really like crazy?
Let me tell you something. I am one of those types that tries my best to live in the moment. Like seriously, just to realize the fortune, the good luck,
right.
And to be in that Rose Bowl on January 1st, 2024, with my family, with my wife, my nephew,
oh my God.
And watching that game and just thinking to myself, you know, and that New Year's Day of 1990, being in that press box for the Michigan Daily and covering Bo's last game, when he spent an entire lifetime of building up a tendency and breaking it by calling for a fake punt against USC and then having the refs blow the call and take it away, calling a holding penalty, a flagrant foul. It was not. Let me tell you.
About Big Ten officials, attrition.
Oh my God! I'm seriously. I've been complaining of Big Ten officials almost as long as the Hutchinsons have been in my life. So, but honestly, I'm kind of gushing now, but it's the truth. Just I lived in that moment. You know, I would have dreamt, like, could I be here with my family, with the children, my wife, years later, and then watching Michigan win it all.
Oh my God!
Potentially, I was incredible.
Full circle.
I know. So you were watching that here, I imagine, in town, right?
Yeah, watching it and just man, it was like, it even felt like my year of the 2021. It was like the foundation, you know, and then those guys, you know, carried it and kept leveling up, and just to see it, it was like even a lot of my former teammates being on that team, winning, getting a ring. It's like, couldn't be more proud.
You're going to hear many of their names tonight too. That's for sure.
I know.
And then tomorrow.
I'm hoping so. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Listen, congrats on everything going on with you. You're one of my favorites. Anytime I can do anything to help out for anything that you're up to, or you always have a space on this show as well if you want to promote anything or just come on and chill.
Thanks,
for
Rich.
real.
It was good talking to you, man.
And it's just, I'm down the street, there's a huge-ass mural of you on the wall.
I'm about to stare at it for like 30 minutes.
You should. It's amazing. Aidan Hutchinson, at Aidan Hutch 97, both on Twitter and Instagram. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.